morning, YouTube. My name is Will. This is Enzo with Ball as usual. And today we are going to do another short video talking about the JDM rear bumper. Oh, I'm so over this construction. Wait for the saw to stop making noise. There we go. Okay, in a previous video, I talked about the vortex generator being rec speed and not OEM. With the bumper, we don't want to do a third party. We want to stick with the OEM. There's some different ones out there, some fiberglass ones and weird ones. Don't mess with those. Just get the OEM version. First of all, those other brands, they're not that much cheaper, assuming you're buying new. And the fitment is just not going to be there. It's not going to hold up, especially if it's like fiberglass or something like that. I would hope people nowadays have learned not to use fiberglass, but you know, I don't know. Chevy can't figure it out, so I imagine other people are still doing it. The fit and finish is phenomenal. I mean, yeah, it's fine, Enzo. Just go ahead. I mean, as you can see, I mean, it lines up just perfectly. No issues whatsoever. You will notice the exhaust sticking out a little bit. That's because the bumper is actually shorter in Japan than it is in the US. That is mostly due to the crash beam. Now, these will come unpainted, and you can paint them to obviously match. Just give your body shop the paint codes and they should be able to do that. Oftentimes, or not oftentimes, but sometimes you'll see where people won't paint this section here. They'll leave it the plastic black. It's not actually supposed to be plastic black. It is actually supposed to be painted, and there is a paint code for it. If you don't know what it is, I can link these in the notes if you want to know what they are. Otherwise, you can look them up. They're not that hard to find. They've been working on this remodel for weeks now, and it's driving me crazy every time I try to shoot a video. Okay, one of the things you're going to have issues with is license plate. Now, my body shop took the time to actually mount the top part of the license plate brackets for me, or the bottom part, I'm not really sure, but basically I can bolt in a license plate and it looks completely normal. A lot of times you'll see them where they're like stuck back there or something. I don't have that issue. The other thing we did is, there's no way I was going to give up the crash beam, and if you do that, you're insane. I don't care about weight reduction or anything like that. Let's be real. You're not a race car. That's stupid. You're driving this on the street. Don't put your life in danger. Leave the crash beam. You are going to have to modify the crash beam or get a different one. And if you get a different one, you're going to spend probably a couple $100 on one. I know some companies make them, and that's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly good way to do it. Alternatively, you can modify the factory one. That's what I did. Essentially, the beam is just what it sounds like. It's just a beam that goes across the bumper, and then it has two supporting brackets that connect it to the underbody or something. I don't know. Basically, you just shorten those, so that way it sits more flush against it, and that's all there is to it. There's instructions on how to do that, although it's not really rocket science. If I still have those, I'll link those in the video as well. But basically, I just gave those to the shop, and they did that just fine. They said they had no issues. So that's pretty much it. Let me open the trunk and show you. Not that you're really going to see much else, but you can see, I mean, it's a little dirty, but everything fits flush, so really couldn't be happier. This is one of the modifications that I never did on my Evo IX that I always wanted to do, but it was hard back then to justify spending. I mean, by the time you buy the parts and the labor, you're probably going to be into it for about $1,000, and when you're all focused on performance mods, $1,000 can go a long ways, so that was hard to swallow back then. Looking back though, I wish I had done it. So that was definitely one of the top priorities with this car. In fact, when I bought this car, one of the negatives to it was that there was a lot of little scratches through here. Some of them were pretty deep. And, you know, I knew I wanted a JDM bumper this time and was going to do it. So those didn't bother me because I knew the bumper wasn't going to stay that long. And as luck would have it, I didn't even have to pay for this bumper because some idiot 7 Series BMW just tapped me on the back end. I mean, I'll have to find pictures, or I've still got the original bumper. I mean, the scratch is like this big. I mean, it is ridiculous how little it is. But we still had a police report and all that stuff just to be sure. You know, you always want to play it safe, because even though it may look like just a scratch, there could be damage underneath. So you always want to protect yourself in that sense. So I did, and the adjuster comes out. He actually met me, you know, I didn't have to go to them. He actually met me in just like a parking lot near my house. He was a really cool guy. He was a younger guy, and he had like an STI himself and everything. He gets under there and he's looking, and he's like, yeah, it's just this little scratch here. You know, you could fix this with some touch-up paint if you want, you know, if you don't want to spend the money. And in the meantime, here's your check. And he hands me the check, and he just kind of like smiles when he does it. And I look at the check, and it was for like $1,200. I was like, oh my gosh, $1,200. I don't even know what an OEM bumper goes for, but I know it's no more than these. So he was a really cool guy. He definitely hooked me up there, and I wish I knew who he was or anything, because he was freaking awesome. I've never had a better experience with insurance companies. So I immediately went home, got on the internet, and ordered this bumper. Like, literally walked in the house, got my laptop out. Wife's like, what are you doing? I was like, I am ordering my bumper. Because prior to that, I told her, like, depending on how much money I get, if I get enough or get close to it, I want to get this bumper. Because at the time, this is right before we were getting married, all of our money was going towards that. Didn't really have any extra cash. So I was excited. Came home, I was like, no, we're good. It covered the bumper, it covered all the labor, all that good stuff, and I was set. So yeah, it'll show up on the Carfax, but I don't really care. I never plan on selling this car. Plus, I have the original bumper. I can show the damage. It's literally one little scratch. If that's going to stop a buyer, then that's their problem. Like I said, I don't plan on selling it anyways. So I've gotten off tangent a little bit there, but that's going to do it for this Sunday short type video. If you guys like these videos, let me know. Freaking Saul. I'm not actually shooting this video on a Sunday. They're not sawing on a Sunday morning. It's just Sunday short sounded better than Wednesday short. So these are going up on Sundays. If you guys like these little short content videos, let me know. Let me know what you think. If you've got any questions or comments about the JDM bumper, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're gonna call this video here. Buddy, you got any comments? Anything to say? No, ready to get in, do some work. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Subscribe if you haven't, like if that's your thing. Again, comment any questions or anything you have. Other than that, Enzo and I are gonna get out of here. There are links below for like the Facebook group, Instagram, if you wanna contact me directly, anything like that. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. We will be at the shootout, just FYI. I'll have more information on that coming sooner, or I'll have more information on that coming later, but just so you guys are aware, we will be at the Busher shootout this summer. All right, buddy. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
How'd you get so far?